In this video, we will learn about the basic concepts of sampling. Now, let's first look at what do we mean by the term population. Statistically, a population is the whole set of items that are of interest. That means if we are talking about a particular school, all the students in that school will be the population that we are interested in. So that is what we mean by the term population. Let's move on to the next terminology, that is census. Now, what is census? A census observes or measures every member of a population. That means if I focus on the previous example, that is about a school, and we are interested in the population of students in that school. And if I am interested in measuring the heights of those students, then every single student, if their height is measured, that will be a census. What is the next terminology? That is sample. Now, what exactly is a sample? A sample is a selection of observations taken from a subset of the population, which is used to find out information about the population as a whole. This is known as sample survey. That means if I look at this diagram, and this is the population of a heights of a class of 25 pupils. So instead of the whole school, we have a class, and this is the height of each individual student. What's the difference between a census versus a sample? In a census, every member of the population is used, whereas in a sample, a selected number of observations is taken. What needs to be considered in order to select a sample from a population? This statement says it all. The sample will be truly representative of the population as a whole, provided that you select it so that it is free from bias. To do this, you must make sure that your selection is truly random. Now, let me emphasize on it. The sample will be truly representative of a population, provided you select a sample that is free from bias. That means the sample should be unbiased. How is this possible? We have to make sure that the selection is truly random. That means equal chance is given to every member when selecting a sample from a population. In this manner, the sample will be unbiased. Now let's look at the advantages versus the disadvantages for a census. A census should give a completely accurate result. That is the advantage. Disadvantage, it is very time consuming and expensive. Cannot be used when the testing process is to destruction. For example, testing an apple for sweetness, testing a light bulb, how long will it last, and so on. The information is difficult to process because there is so much of it. Again, it's related to time consuming and being expensive. What about a sample survey? What's the advantage? A sample survey costs less than a census. Results are obtained quicker for a sample than for a census because the number is lesser. Fewer people have to respond in the sample. There is less data to deal with than in a census. What are the disadvantages of a sample? The data may not be as accurate as compared to a census. The sample may not be large enough to give information about small subgroups of the population. So what have we learned in this video? We have talked about population. We have talked about census, a survey. What are the advantages and disadvantages of each?